Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. I'm Surbhi and this is Perspective 360 Degree, your one-stop solution for current affairs, descriptive writing and answer writing evaluation. For those of you who are a continuous viewer of this initiative, welcome back. And for others who are watching this probably for the first time, let me tell you that we help you in your preparation for regulatory bodies examinations and other examinations as well. And Perspective 360 Degree aims at preparing you for descriptive writing, which in the case of regulatory bodies examination appears in the phase 2 part of your exam. So descriptive writing, many students find it tough, not from the static part I would say, but at least from the questions which appear from current affairs. So अगर कोई भी टॉपिक करंट अफेयर्स से है, स्टूडेंट्स फाइंड इट वेरी हार्ड टू कवर दोज टॉपिक्स एंड टू राइट आंसर्स ऑन देम. So Perspective 360 Degree is aimed at helping such students. Even if you're not preparing for any exam, the knowledge that we share on this initiative can help you very, very, very much in your daily life, in being in making you a more woke person, I would say. So all of you, welcome. I have spoken a lot, but till here, if you have any audio issues or any video issues, just let me know in the chat section or just type a thumbs up so that I know that we can proceed ahead and everything is clear. So yes, I'm waiting for your responses. Good evening, Gomati. Good evening, Sejal. Is the audio video both are clear? And many of you had problems with the previous video. See the last video that we discussed on circular economy, which is a very, very important topic for your exam. So that video, it was a recorded premiere session. I did not take a live session with you for that video. And you will find that in the videos tab on EduTap YouTube channel. It will not be present in live tab. It will be present in the videos tab, or otherwise you can just go to our playlist, and the first playlist that you will find on our YouTube channel is of Perspective 360 Degree. So you can find all the topics, all the discussions there. All right, Lipi, is it your first class? Sarathi, everything is okay. Sarathi, is this your first class as well? Thank you, Sejal and Gomti. I'm not aligned properly. Okay, let me just see. Let me just look at the alignment that I have here. Is it any better? All right, ma'am, new NABARD badge. Okay. It's not better. I cannot see it, changing. So let me just make a few amendments. Give me 1 minute. I don't know why does it, make me appear in the air, and this is OBS software that we are using. So yes, now it should be fine. So I think now it should be okay. And if you have any alignment issues or video issues, kindly let me know in the chat section. Ma'am, this one is my first and won't be the last one. Sarthi, I'm very happy to know that. And ma'am, Hustler, kindly contact our team for that. The phone number is given in the description. So after watching this video, kindly contact us for all the batches. And we also provide you with recorded lectures, so you can subscribe to our course anytime, at any time of the year. And yes, so let's move on. The topic for today is globalization. I hope everything is clear now. All right, Sejal. So globalization is the topic. Is it the end of globalization, or is it a new beginning? What kind of phase are we in? And why do we even talk about globalization? Globalization हमारे लिए important क्यों है? Why is it important for us? And if we did not have globalization, what would be the harmful effects of it, if any? So first of all, before I start teaching you, this should always be there in your mind that globalization is a very basic topic, and everything that you consume or you deal with, or even your aspirations, you should always relate things on a global level. आपको हमेशा global level पे सोचना चाहिए. Countries, they are just like neighbors, they're just like people. Countries are made up of people. So think on that perspective, and आपके horizons बहुत ज़्यादा wide होंगे. And this topic is going to help you a great deal. First of all, the topic is very, very vast, and directly it has not appeared in news, but indirectly it has been in news for the entire year and for all times. So from November 2, I can see this globalization is slowly but surely unraveling. But there are other aspects of globalization, especially due to the Israel-Palestine conflict, the Gaza conflict, and the Russia-Ukraine war. So globalization, you won't find a separate editorial on it very frequently, but there is a high frequency that this topic separately explicitly will be asked in you in the examination. So let's look at this topic from our RBI Grade B relevance. The topic globalization, it has many subtopics, but today we will study it as the header topic. We'll study just globalization and not the implicit parts of it, or not the minuscule parts of it. For NABARD Grade A, again in the ESI section, you have the topic called globalization. And for SEBI Grade A, you can relate globalization with economics, and for English writing skills, this is going to be an evergreen topic for essay writing. First of all, let's look at the expected question. And in all our respective lectures of Perspective 360 degree, we try that we cover the topic in a holistic view, so that any question that is asked, whether challenges, benefits, details, we prepare you for all aspects of the question. So these questions might appear a little tough or lengthy to you, but trust me, they'll prepare you for the final battle very, very well. Now, the advent of globalization delivered many benefits which might be reversed by the present trend of deglobalization. Explain. Answer for 600 words and for 15 marks. So, the reverse of globalization is known as deglobalization. It says that the advent of globalization delivered many benefits which might be reversed by the present trend of deglobalization. Explain. Now, this question is so confusing. We might not even understand that what do I have to write? Do I have to talk about benefits of globalization? Do I have to talk about disadvantages of deglobalization, and in what perspective? The name of country India is not mentioned, but since you are appearing for examinations, make sure that 90% of your points are written with respect to India. Alright, so our focus will be on that part, and what we'll do is, since we are not very clear about this question, we'll frame micro questions in it. Micro questions means what is the actual questions that are being put in this complex statement. So first of all, okay. So first of all, let me share the answer blueprint with you. How will you write your answer? Divide it into 3 parts. Introduction, where we'll talk about the topic under discussion. कि question किस चीज़ पे पूछा गया? What is the question that has been asked on? What's the topic under discussion? So introduction might have interpretation of like what's globalization, what's deglobalization. Main body will have answers to all the micro questions which form a part of the complex question. This will be clear in the subsequent slides. And finally, you will give a conclusion. Conclusion, you have to be like very positive. You have to take a stand in the conclusion, and you have to take a stand that the examiner likes. You don't have to be like brutally honest in your conclusions. Take the stand which examiner likes, and if the topic is very sensitive, take a diplomatic stand, take a balanced stand. Summarize, give a way forward, give solutions. Everybody loves such approach. Now, talking about introduction, we'll explain globalization, and since we are explaining globalization in our introduction, so we'll ascribe like 30 to 40 words to it. And since we are explaining this, let's also talk about benefits of globalization, because only then we will be able to explain what are the disadvantages, or what are the benefits which will be reversed if deglobalization happens. So benefits of globalization, very short, in very small amount of words, we'll write benefits. Then let's explain deglobalization. What is it and why is it in news? Here we'll not define what is deglobalization per se, but it will be very clear once you have explain globalization. So reasons for deglobalization, what are the reasons that it is being discussed? And this will also take 1 paragraph only, that will be divided into 3 points, not more than that. All right, very small amount. And then we'll be talking about what are the benefits which will actually be reversed. That means disadvantages of deglobalization will be talked about. And then we'll summarize the answer. We'll talk about the present scenario, that and we'll also predict a future that globalization is here to stay. We are not becoming a world which will not have any globalization at all, but we will have some different type of globalization. So summary and way forward will be part of the deal now. Talking about introduction now. So in the introduction, first of all, you will have to explain what globalization is. You can also talk about what led to globalization in India. Now see, there are so many countries in the world, around 200 countries are there. All right. And see, just like you have countries, similarly you have families. Your family wants your benefit and you want your family to be happy. And families, they make up a community forms a society. The communities, when they come together, they form up a country. So your country also wants your benefit, the place where you have been born. If your parents have chosen a government to be run in that country, then that government works for your benefit. So when all these nations, they sit together, everybody wants their own benefit of their own local people. Nobody wants that if I'm not benefiting, then I should be doing something that this another country benefits and I am at a loss. Nobody wants that. We don't want that in our personal lives also. That's not practical, and we don't want that in our at the global level also. So you always see our political leaders fighting for our concerns, fighting for jobs, fighting for our farmers' rights, in like WTO, fighting for our intellectual property rights or our freedom to abrogate them at the international stage or at the global level. Because a country is like a family, and in family, everybody has to work for their benefit first and then think about what is happening outside that. All right. So first of all, globalization talks about that we all can share something, like we can all be connected, we can share something, and we can build a world in which everybody benefits. All right. In like, let's say in a global order in which just one country is very, very influential, it has all the resources, it has all the money. In that scenario, what happens? Only one country is benefiting and others are at a very huge loss. But globalization, it comes with the idea that all countries should benefit. One country gives raw materials, the other country, carries out some level of manufacturing. The third country carries out some level of assembly. The fourth country carries out higher level of manufacturing. The fifth one provides, us societal values, and everything gets paid for, everything gets exchanged, and all of us benefit out of resources of the world and whatever good things we have on earth, and we all prosper with peace. So it's not about just one's own benefit, it's about benefit of all others, including mine or including ours. So that is what is the understanding of globalization is about. Now if countries feel selfish, that we do not want to help others or we just want to think about our country only, then that is a problem, and that process is known as deglobalization. Now why that is disadvantageous, that we will see in the subsequent slides. First of all, define globalization here. It is a term used to describe increasing connectedness and interdependence of countries. Basically, what are countries consisting of? World cultures and economies. And just delve into it a little bit more. It describes how trade and technology have transformed the world into a more connected and interdependent place. Basically, they are using different terms of cultures, of economies, of trade, technology to give the same kind of explanation. Basically, globalization is interconnectedness and interdependence, happy or positive interdependent dependent. So it captures in its scope the economic and social changes that have come about as a result, and it has been a dominant force for much of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Now, if you remember, when India was under the rule of Britishers, India was also a part of globalization because India was supplying raw cotton or basic cotton to Britain. And Britain, as a result, what it was supplying back to us, it was supplying us manufactured cotton textiles. So India was also part of globalization. It is not a new phenomena. But yes, after independence, what we did, we decided that we are a very poor country and we are a very, very weak economy. So we closed our doors to globalization. We said that whatever we produce in India, we will consume that. We are not accepting any imports because India has faced a lot of damage to Indian industries because of the imports. So that's why In 1991, by IMF and World Bank, we were asked to carry out LPG reforms in the country because India was under a debt. We had a balance of payment crisis. So that is when in 1991 that it has been said that globalization actually started to happen in India again, which was again in India's favor as well. So both the 20th and 21st centuries, which is the present century, has seen globalization. Now it has both advantages and disadvantages to India, shaping its economic, political and social landscape. What are the advantages? Let's see. And we are talking about advantages of globalization with respect to India. If I have to give you a flow chart, you can talk about both favor and against, but we'll not be talking about disadvantages today because that is not the demand of question. It is talking about benefits only and how these benefits will be reversed if deglobalization happens. So if I have to talk about benefits of globalization, that will be delved in body part 1. You can talk about greater access to global markets. If you start an industry today, you can export your products to USA, Europe, Canada, anywhere you want to, any other country you want to. That is the benefit of globalization, and you can become rich by that. You can increase your living standard by that. Then there is advanced technology. Look at the technology we are interacting with. This platform called YouTube. It is a platform of a company based in United States of America. Had we not been an open economy, then we would have not benefited because of these platforms, and such kind of education would have not been possible. Then better future prospects for large industries of developing countries. That is has been delved in detail. Now, benefits of globalization. I'll be taking this under 3 heads. If you have any doubts still here or any additions to make, kindly let me know in the chat section. And this is going to be a very, full of energy discussion because you will be able to relate to a lot of points here. Jaya Sudha, it will be evaluated in time. So probably by today evening itself, it will be evaluated. So you'll get your evaluation. All right, Hustler. Okay, I think that is clear. All right, so no doubts coming, all the live students. And if you happen to watch this in a recorded session, as a recorded session later, kindly let me know the additions that you have to make. I will be happy to respond to them. All right. So now benefits of globalization, they can be studied under 3 heads. And yes, the most, I would say, the most important head is economic growth. When you open up your economy, your products can go to other countries and you can sell them at a higher price, and other goods can also enter your economy. For example, as we see Chinese products in Indian markets, they are very inexpensive products, or Chinese clothes, they are also very inexpensive products. Again, the same with products from Bangladesh as well. So economic growth happens if you have to start a business. You always feel motivated that yes, India is not my full stop destination. I can expand my business overseas as well. So first of all, access to global markets has expanded countries' export opportunities, contributing to increased GDP and job creation. Now this job creation is something that you have to think about. See, there is a very prevalent topic of discussion in our country which talks about salary packages of people. You must have heard about it. I'm sure that some cousin of yours or you yourself must be placed at a very good salary package, or somebody in your vicinity might be doing that. And most of these salary packages are in the IT industry. People who are software engineers, people who can operate computers, operate softwares. So IT industry, basically IT services. India is the IT service provider of the world. We hold almost 30%, we provide almost 30% services to the world in terms of IT or information technology. That's why it is a high motivation for people to become software engineers, because placements are at very high packages, and there is access to global markets as well. You can move abroad and things like that. Now, where is it coming from? It is coming from globalization, because once India carried out LPG reforms in 1991, the companies which were based in United States of America, they realized that software engineers in India, or people who are in the IT field in India, they can work at a lesser cost as compared to people in USA or people in UK. So how it benefited us? It benefited USA because they were saving money, and it benefited people in India or IT engineers in India because they were working at very high salary packages, and that too with the latest technologies which were supplied to them by countries like USA and UK and other countries. So job creation has happened. Your industrial parks have come up, your IT industry has bloomed like anything in India. That's why living standards have also improved. The second one is policy initiatives. How does globalization lead to better policy initiatives? The reason is that United Nations, just like a global government, keeps a watch on your country. Is there press freedom in your country? Are women rights in your country is good? Is there a reservation for people who are differently abled? Are there LGBTQ plus rights available in your country? So everybody is keeping a watch. You might have heard about corruption index, global gender gap index. So globalization, participation with other countries, just like when you interact with other families, your family goes to other families and meets them, you learn so much. You feel competitive, and you also feel that yes, you are a part of bigger community. Basically, you learn so much, you exchange ideas. Similar is the case with countries as well. So it prompts our governments to be more liberal, to give us more and more rights, and to rule in us in a better way. So government has been prompted to invest in health, education and technology to remain competitive on the global stage. And these investments have improved the overall quality of life for Indian citizens. That's a plus for us. The third is social progress. You must have seen the status of women in our country like 20 years back. They were not many of them were not allowed to work. Still many of the women are not allowed to work by their family members, but still we see a lot of women are actually moving out. They're doing their jobs, they're making their own money, and they also feel more like towards equality. We are moving towards equality. We are on the road to equality, basically. So the influence of global ideas and values has led to progressive changes in Indian society. We are becoming more open. Yes, there are disadvantages also, but we'll be talking about the positive effects here. So women rights, LGBTQ plus rights, etc. Now talking about, coming to the second part, we have like justified what is globalization, what are its benefits. So this is like 1/3 of your answer. Now, it says that these benefits might be reversed by the present trend of deglobalization. So what is the present trend of deglobalization? Either you can define it, which will not be very justified because that will be opposite of globalization. So what we'll be doing here is let's study reasons of deglobalization and then talk about what can be the disadvantages of deglobalization, or what the question is talking about, because we have been asked to explain the statement. So we are explaining it using micro questions, using smaller questions. So several factors and emerging trends are causing many to think whether this era of globalization is coming to close. Here I have placed definitions of deglobalization for you. You don't have to read it right now. It is very much obvious. Download the PDF for this discussion tomorrow from our Telegram channel tomorrow morning, and you can read it from there. Include it in your answers if you want, but there is no need. Now, reasons of deglobalization. First of all, rise of protectionist policies. And here I talk about Brexit, where United Kingdom exited from European Union. It said that we are not benefiting economically out of the policies of European Union. Like, people from other parts of Europe, they enter into UK and they take our jobs. Similar was the case with US. US, the long line that you have for H-1B visas. USA wants people who are whites or people who are their own, let's say, citizens. They should be in power and they should continue to flourish in the country. And similar is the case with many other affluent countries as well. So rise of protectionist policies has been occurring, and this has been shown in the case of trade barriers also that countries like USA have introduced. So resurgence of nationalism, preference of domestic interest over global cooperation. For example, Brexit, America First policy, and these shifts in political ideology, they lead to trade tensions, tariff wars, and reconsideration of international agreements. Let's say India is sending fruits and vegetables to USA, and we are sending it, and USA does not put any import duty on fruits and vegetables coming from India. One fine day, USA decides that we want only our fruits and vegetables, our own fruits and vegetables, to be sold in markets of USA. So what it will do, it will put a very heavy import duty on Indian fruits and vegetables so that they become very costly in American markets, and hence people don't consume them. And who is at a loss in this case? Indian farmers who are growing fruits and vegetables. So again, that's a problem of deglobalization. Then there is impact of COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 made everyone realize that you need to be in a very, very secure place to save your life, to save your family, and to be able to flourish, to be able to survive basically. So it has scared off many people, many countries around the globe, especially due to the vaccine hegemony, vaccine diplomacy, that only the countries which could produce vaccines or which could afford vaccines had a high survival rate, and poorer countries were left at the left at the mercy of richer countries. So impact of COVID-19 pandemic in the world is very, very high. It exposed the vulnerabilities in global supply chains, leading to many questions of wisdom, relying heavily on international production and distribution networks. And what it has done, it has prompted nations to prioritize self-sufficiency in critical sectors like healthcare and pharmaceuticals. And now this will lead to a reconfiguration of global trade dynamics. Even countries like India, we have started to produce our own vaccines. The government has started to focus on these areas, which is good. But what about this concept of all these families or all these countries producing some parts of the product and sharing it with each other and everybody benefiting economically? So this concept of globalization comes under question. Then there are technological advancements. I told you that USA outsources, Western countries outsource their IT services to India. Now, because of automation and artificial intelligence, they might not be motivated to do so. And countries, developing countries or poor countries, they might suffer a lot, especially economically. Now, what can be the disadvantages of deglobalization? First of all, I have few quotes for you. Assumption of do commerce. It says that trade makes men less prone to violence or irrational behavior. So when everybody is flourishing economically, products that I'm producing, they're selling at good price in the market, I'm flourishing economically, and similarly is the case with you. Your products are selling in a democratic way, in a very liberal way in the markets, then it makes people less prone to irrational behavior. Whenever jobs are less in a country, whenever economic growth is not happening in a country, violence rates also rise because people cannot find ways to feed themselves and their families. So also, there is a French philosopher, Montesquieu. He says that commerce is a cure for most of the destructive prejudices and peace is the natural effect of trade. So these are the quotes you can use in your answers, in your essays, especially this one. Peace is the natural effect of trade. So if you have to have peace in the world, globalization is very much required, and deglobalization is something that's not required. Then there are some disadvantages of deglobalization that we need to study. Obviously, the first one, since the benefit of globalization is economic growth, the disadvantage of deglobalization is going to be the economic impact that it is going to have. Economic impact on Indian jobs, economic impact on Indian growth, because our products will be affected in international markets. Economic impact on Indian farmers. So economic growth rate will be reduced, and Indian trade and exports will be impacted. Reduction in competition and rise in general price of goods and services will be happening. It will prevent outflow of skilled people due to protectionist measures like visa regulations. So your education system will also have to be revamped, because right now we have a set parameter that if you become an engineer, if you become a CA, if you become a doctor, what is the career path for you? So when skilled migration cannot happen, or when skilled jobs cannot be provided to people, which are right now provided by many MNCs because of globalization. So this might be coming under question. Then increased import cost due to lesser choice and options, and manufacturers and producers, they'll have to pay more for equipment and commodities. And agricultural exports will be at a disadvantage. The political impact would be, since there will be no global government to look at us, then instability in political framework can occur, and cost of living that will rise because of economic impact. It may lead to civil uprisings, and also it also gives the freedom to governments to rule in whatever way they like. See, China exports a lot, it does not import a lot. Plus, China keeps barriers to rest of the world. And similar is the case with North Korea as well. I won't talk about trade of North Korea, that's not happening. But they keep barriers with the rest of the world. So, the people or the citizens of such countries, they face a lot of violence, or they face a lot of discrimination and a lot of brutality at the hands of their governments. Then impact on technology, because yes, most of our technology is coming from Western nations. So that would be, there will be limited knowledge sharing and lack of flow of technology. Also disempowerment of trade regulations like WTO puts the entire situation in a peril. The most important and my favorite one here is impact on environmental protection conversation. Now, I talked about COP28 in one of our lectures this week itself. If you haven't watched it, kindly go back. In COP28, you have this loss and damage fund, which is funded by developed countries. You also have a fund that has been created by developed countries. For example, this $100 billion that has to be given by industrial nations to non-industrialized nations like India to cope up or to prepare for climate change. So if globalization does not happen, then forget your conference of parties. Nobody is going to follow UNFCCC. Nobody is going to follow the Paris Accord. Nobody is going to sit for conference of parties, and this has happened in the past. Many affluential, bigger countries who produce a lot of pollution, a lot of greenhouse gases, they have boycotted such conference of party meetings. They have boycotted. And then developing countries like India, which are very much vulnerable to climate change, we become at the receiving hands of climate change and all the atrocities. Then impact on women employment or women empowerment. It has been seen during the COVID-19 pandemic also, and it has been time tested that whenever situation of economy is bad, women face like very, very bad consequences of it, domestically, economically, because people don't want to employ them. Secondly, in the household as well, they face a lot of domestic violence because of the stress that occurs in the economy, and then it traverses to the families. So it destroys the international order for that matter. Then there is impact on security. Okay, so impact on security, why would it happen? Because there would be lack of coordination among security agencies. Right now, India is protected from terrorism because Indian intelligence agencies are in coordination with other intelligence agencies of the world. So they can track terror on a global level. So when globalization is not there, it's not guaranteed that even terrorism won't be following globalization. They will act on global level, and it will become tough for countries to maintain their security. Now, moving on to the conclusion part, just, I would say, simplify the conclusion a little bit, just summarize that globalization will stay, it will change its form. And right now, yes, we are in tough times because we are seeing two conflicts, the conflict in Gaza and the Russia-Ukraine war all at once. And COVID-19 pandemic is something that we have not recovered from already. So yes, globalization is taking turns. We see we see countries coming up with stricter visa regulations. We see countries which do not want to trade with other countries or do not want to share their technologies with others. But yes, globalization will stay. The form of globalization will change. So yes, while there are compelling arguments suggesting that the era of globalization may be evolving or even declining, it is not necessarily the end of globalization as we know it. So that's a very mature point to conclude or to summarize. The landscape is shifting with a focus on regionalism or greater emphasis on self-reliance in some areas, but the world remains interconnected. The COVID-19 pandemic that also proved that yes, world is interconnected. No matter, there is no going back from globalization, and global challenges will continue to demand collective responses. Again, whether that's environment change, that's climate change, that's that's your any pandemic, any kind of disease that's there, it will demand global collective responses. There, you cannot close your house or shut your house or shut your borders and say that I will not be impacted by what's happening in rest of the globe. Bad things, they enter our houses if we do not work to change them, and they enter our countries as well. So however, it is essential to recognize that while there are challenges to the current form of globalization, the forces of interconnectedness are not disappearing entirely. That cannot happen. Especially digital technologies, internet, social media, they continue to connect people across borders, fostering global communication and cultural exchange. And global challenges, they are also very much common. Hence, you can conclude here that the world has to be prepared for a new form of globalization, and we have to find out various methods to deal with the current challenges of deglobalization collectively. So that's your question for the day. I'm displaying it again. And we provide you free evaluation services. Recently, the result of RBI Grade B was announced, and many toppers have been visiting us. Today also we had Prachi ma'am here, who cleared her RBI Grade B exam this year. So many people have benefited out of the initiatives, even the free initiatives that we are carrying out. So kindly continue your answer writing, post your answers in the comment section, so that whenever the exam is around, you're already prepared, you're already done with 90% of your preparation, and only 10%, that is revision and last minute practice, that is left, and ensure your selection in the final list. There is no point that you keep delaying things and you keep pushing your success by year, year after year. There's no point in that. So we are there at your service. We are there to help you. If you want us to, bring more initiatives for you or new types of topic discussions for you, kindly let us know in the comment section. If you're benefiting out of this initiative, again, kindly let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to read your comments. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done it yet. And this is our email ID, and that's our phone number. You can contact us for any details that you want, or even if you want to book a strategy call with one of our faculty members, kindly contact us at this number. Now, if you have any more doubts, kindly let me know in the chat section. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday. Monday is Christmas, so it will be a recorded session on Monday as well. It will be a recorded premiere session, so it will be at the same time, but that, the live session, next live session will be on Wednesday. Monday, the topic discussion will be there. It will be for the topic called evergreening of loans. And post your answers in today's comment section, in the YouTube comment section, by Sunday 5 p.m. so that you can enjoy your Christmas very well. All right. So take care, all of you. Class timing, if Tesham, it's 5 p.m. 5 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Nitesh just posted. Type your answer in the YouTube comment section under this video. Nilesh, you can take any approach that you like, whether paragraph or points, whatever suits you, but I would prefer that you write it in points so that you get more marks. Thank you, Sejal. That means a lot to me. I'm very, very happy to read this comment. She says that you and your team is doing amazing work, especially to innovate this class, and you explained the topic very well. Huge thanks to you. And Sejal, I'll be really happy when I see your name and names of all other aspirants and the finalists. That will be my true success and true compliment. I'm really happy that you're benefiting. So step by step, we will reach our final destination, that's for sure. You're welcome, Nilesh. So yes, let's call it a day. No more inputs coming. So yes, I'll see you on Monday at 5 p.m. Kindly post your answers by Sunday, 5 p.m. Take care. Merry Christmas, Gomati.